Hello YouTube viewers and random Doctor Who fans. So you want to take your toy sonic screwdriver and make it look a bit more like the prop in the actual show? Well, it's your lucky day because I'm going to actually show you. So in order to do this, you're going to need yourself a toy version of the 11th Doctor sonic screwdriver, some duct tape, some pliers, a screwdriver, an actual screwdriver, a file, a flat-bladed knife, a rusty old horrible screw, normal screws also work, a pair of scissors, and of course some glue. Now you want to get yourself some actual proper glue, not that cheap crap, so it costs a little more but it's a lot more effective. Oh yes, and also a leather jacket. Okay, so first of all you want to take your sonic screwdriver, open it up, twist it, split it in half, take this half and put it to one side because this is the half we're going to be working on. So you want to take your flat bladed knife and run it along the little sort of edge here, the little gap in between this golden section here and the actual leather sort of handle. So take your knife, put it in there, run it the whole way around, be very careful with this, very delicate, and run it the whole way around and kind of try to slowly pry it open, and be very careful, like I said, because it could easily break. You will hear a series of sort of snaps, but that's just the crappy glue that they've used to put this together breaking off. So eventually, once you've pried that open and done that, you'll be able to pull that off and remove it, creating this ring here. So be very careful with this ring because this is the thing that holds the entire lower half of the sonic together. So don't break it, and if you do, you're kind of screwed. So take that and put it to one side, out of the way. This then allows you to split open the actual bottom of the sonic. So as you can see here, this sort of join here comes apart. So very, very carefully, sorry I'm getting all my tools in the way here, very, very carefully pry that open, and as you can see, be very careful with it. As you sort of pull that open there, that reveals a little mechanism on the inside of the screwdriver and these two buttons. So you're going to want to slowly and very carefully remove these two little buttons in here, because as you can see on the end of them, they have a little tiny spring, so you want to put those to one side as well, so you don't lose them or lose the spring off the end of it, because that would be bad. Let's see if I can open this here. Yep, there we go. So take those off. Pull open the screwdriver, and at the bottom here you're going to have to break it somewhat, because it's kind of held together here. So slowly pull that apart. Try not to break it too much, but you are going to have to sort of snap it there, as you can see, but that's okay because the snap occurs when it's tucked up in underneath the bottom section here, so that's okay. So here we have the actual interior of the screwdriver. If I can just widen that up there we go, and you're going to want to pull that off. As you can see, it now separates into three pieces. You now have your lower half here, which is the button section, put that to one side. You also have this section here, which is be very important in a moment, and you have this section. Now this section includes the mechanism for the actual button whenever the screwdriver is in fully open mode. You're going to remove that entirely, so take that to one side, and the actual spring itself needs to go here. So this is what you're going to have to break, so snap that off completely. There we are, and you're going to put that away to one side. So that's now your screwdriver completely opened up. Now you're going to want to take your actual screwdriver here and count down this little sort of design here. So about the fourth stitch down, let's see here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So about there, you want to put the actual tip of your screwdriver into that section there. And let's see, I'll show you guys in a second here, just so I can get the little hole sort of started here. As you can see there, that's where you're going to want to make your hole. And as you can see, I've now punched the whole way through to the other side. So that creates your hole now for your actual button of your screwdriver. Now you're going to want to take your one of the buttons that you removed earlier, which has the thicker button on it, and take your file, and then you're going to want to scrape this down a little bit here and remove quite a large bit from the top of it. So there you guys, you can see that's been filed down considerably, and I'll tell you why you have to do that a little later on. Now, do you remember this red assembly that there was inside the base of the screwdriver from the spring, obviously? Well, cut the bottom off of that, which is obviously the little red button, and glue that to the inside of the base of the screwdriver, which, as you can see, I've done there. Then, basically, you're going to want to take the other half of your screwdriver, which is this, and just close that little gap there and close that up. So, as you can see, that then pops into place. Then you're going to want to take the base of your screwdriver with the little hatch on it and put this back on. So let me see if they line up here. So there you go, now that's the base popped on again. So this will hold the screwdriver together nicely, and as you can see, you still have your little red button there for aesthetic purposes, so you can still close that over. Whenever you pop it open, you've still got a red button. It won't work anymore, obviously, but it's there basically just for show. So now, what you're going to want to do is, make sure that this end is still staying open slightly. Maybe glue this part back together again if you want to, and this is when you put your buttons back in again. So we're going to start off here with our small button, which is this, and just pop this back inside. So now, as you can see, both buttons are now back in their respective places, and then you can just snap the shell shut there, so both buttons are back together again. As you can see, the top button's a lot lower than the bottom button, but that's for something obviously that we're going to do later on. Now, you're going to want to take a bit of duct tape at the moment, and take a section of that, very thin section mind you, doesn't have to be perfect, and wrap that around the edge of the screwdriver, and this is going to hold it in place for what we're going to do next. Then you're going to want to take your nail and wrap it in duct tape. Then we're going to cut it down to size using our pliers. Make sure that your screw now with the duct tape over it fills the hole. If it doesn't, feel free to chop it down, obviously using your scissors. So as you can see, the screw now neatly fits into the hole we made earlier. So just put your finger down here and feel how long the nail sort of has to be. So mine's going to roughly be about that long, so make a little note of how long that needs to be, and then obviously cut that down with your pliers. So then you're going to want to test this, so reattach your screwdriver head. So let's see, pop this in here. There we go. Does it work? Now it's time to cover your screwdriver sort of handle in some nice leather. So grab an old leather jacket, maybe you can get one from, I don't know, a charity shop, maybe your dad has an old one in his cupboard, I don't know. And you're going to want to wrap this around your screwdriver. Now obviously, if you can't get your hands on some actual leather, maybe just use some duct tape or some masking tape, something like that. So what you're going to want to do is take some glue and put some little dabs of it just over the back of the screwdriver here. Doesn't have to be perfect, just a couple little dabs. Here, maybe run them in with your finger, just so they don't run and mess up your buttons. So once that's in place, then you're going to want to take your leather, make sure it's on the right side, like so, and start applying it. And if you see the way I'm going to start applying it here, I'm making sure that this straight edge here runs with the bottom half of the handle. So pop that on there and very delicately run it around your screwdriver. Make sure the bottom half, doesn't matter about the top half, doesn't even matter if the top half's the same length, just run it around the base of your screwdriver here, and maybe glue it as you go, just to keep it in touch, make sure it's all sort of nice and tight. So wrap that around nice and thick around your screwdriver. So there you go, that gives you a more sort of better handle, and then after that, of course, trim it down. So if it's a little too long on this side, and obviously trim it around here, so it looks a lot more neater. And once you've trimmed the leather down, which you've applied around the edges, you'll have something that looks like that. And as you can see, I've gone ahead and put my ring back on the top here again and glued that into place. So as you can see, you've got this really neat sort of, it's soft and it looks like it does in the show, but you've also got it nice and neat around both sides and the edges. And it also, remember I told you earlier to trim down your little button that allows you to release the screwdriver? Well, I did that so it allows you to put the leather nice and tight around the screwdriver, and it won't make this button be continuously pressed in and keep your screwdriver open all the time. So that's why I did that. So as you can see, that's basically the bottom of the screwdriver now completely altered. So let's test this out. So I'm going to pop my top section of the screwdriver back in here again. Oh, see if it works. There we go. As you can see, there it is now completely working again. So as you can see, there it is working in closed mode, and then flicking it open allows you to turn the screwdriver on while it's in open mode. Okay, so that's pretty much how to modify your 11th Doctor Sonic Screwdriver toy so it works a little bit more like the prop. Remember people, I take absolutely no responsibility at all if you break your screwdriver while you're making the modifications to it. You shouldn't though, because I know I say I went through a couple of screwdrivers in order to make it like this, but then again that's because I wasn't following any sort of, you know, plans or any other video myself. It was just me sort of tinkering with it and trying to come up with ways to make it more like the prop. So you shouldn't break it. Like, if you follow these steps, so follow them very slowly and take your time, especially when it comes to gluing. Like for example this part as well, and filing stuff down. If you're really careful with it, you shouldn't break your screwdriver. So that's all I'm saying. Also, because you've removed the spring assembly down here, there are several things you can do with it. You can either put the spring back in again so it still pops up, but I prefer it like this because, again, it's a lot more like it is in the show. But if you want to, you can still keep the spring in there. What I've decided to do is take a bolt, which is just a thick strip of metal, and put it in the bottom. And this makes the screwdriver a lot more heavier, and it makes it feel a lot more accurate too. Don't think you can make your screwdriver more metallic looking by adding tin foil to it, because as you can see, this is what happens, and it looks terrible. It looks like a 6-year-old built it from Blue Peter. So whatever you do, don't do that. So yeah, that's pretty much how to do it. So good luck with that, and thank you very much for watching this video. Thank you. Bye bye.